Okay. Well, thanks for coming out on a kind of iffy day. I hope it doesn't rain. It occurred to me that maybe I should say something about the harpsichord. Is there anybody here who has not heard a harpsichord before? I wouldn't think so, no. Just let me tell you a little about this instrument. It was in the middle of the previous century that America became interested in the trend that said that old music should be performed on historical instruments. I'm sure that all of you know the name of Wanda Landowska. She was the first harpsichord player. However, she did not really play on a historical instrument. She played on an instrument that was factory built, had a very clunky action. It was sort of built like a piano. The only thing was different that they used quilts to pluck the strings. Eventually, though, a group of woodworkers, I think they were, came together and decided that they wanted to really build historical instruments. That meant they went to museums abroad in Europe, all over the place, where there are still surviving instruments from the period. And they took very careful measurements and drew plans and did everything so that they could reconstruct, following those instructions, the original instruments. One of them was a North Carolina mountain boy, actually, but he settled in Texas then and started building instruments there. Sold a few, but business wasn't going very well, and it was difficult to get the raw materials in Texas. So he decided to come back home, settled in the mountains here, and had to spend some time building instruments. Then he came to the various institutions in the state and brought a model instrument and wanted to sell it to the music departments. He went to Duke. Duke was not interested. He came to UNC, and my husband was actually the chair of the department at the time, and we looked at the instrument. I looked at it. We had, in the music department, we had a terrible clunker. It was a Mendelssohn factory built from Germany. It had what is called a 16-foot string set, which meant that it could play, and the sound of the tone would be an octave lower than you would expect it to be, but it had a very, very heavy action. And I played that for many years. And then when this guy came, Richard Kingston, and brought one just like this, except that it was in black with chinoiserie. And I played that instrument. I thought, what a wonderful instrument. And of course the department bought one. And I played the, what is it called, the premium, the first performance of in Hill Hall on that instrument, and I really loved it, so I asked Richard to build me one. And this is the result of it.
And it's not black.
And it's not black. Well, at the time I had a very old Steinway grand in our house in Chapel Hill, and that was cherry. And so I thought, I'd like to have an instrument that sort of matched the look in the same room. That's why I asked for the cherry. And then of course we traveled in China, and I discovered the screen. So I looked at it and I said, that matches my harpsichord. yeah, and that's the story of it. The instrument has been taken care of only by the builder. He turned out to be one of the two star builders of instruments internationally, in America and internationally. And he just died about 2.5 or 3 months ago. And so now I have to find somebody to take care of the instrument. It had not been taken care of, and I would tune it every once in a while, but I'm not up to changing strings and doing that sort of stuff. But the piano tuner at UNC Music Department has started to learn to work with harpsichords, so he sort of spruced it up for me. That's it. Well, that's the story of it. It has a kind of North Carolina character, because if you look on the inside, the soundboard is painted too, and some of the pictures there's a Carolina wren, there are dogwoods, and just in general, it's a very pretty instrument. Outside it's chinoiserie, so.
May we take a